What's going on, everybody? This is Jackie's Interviews and Podcasting. Right now, I'm going to show you how to set up an actual interview. Doesn't really take nothing. All you need is two different cameras. That's it, two different cameras. Doesn't matter the quality of the cameras. So if you have two different iPhones or iPods, you can use this as well. The more important thing to me is the angles. As you see in some of my interviews with my mom, Jeanette Terry, I'm able to incorporate two different angles, which is very important. You're going to have two different camera angles, and you can either have two different camera angles with your iPhone or your cameras in general. It's all about how you set up the camera. Okay, so I have two different cameras. As you see, this camera right here is facing toward my mom, and it's gonna give me that straight angle. It's actually gonna give me that straight angle. It's on a tripod, so I don't have to worry about stabilizing it. It's gonna be in a straight angle, straight form. And once again, this is already on record. Now, this is my freelance camera right here. So what this camera is gonna do, I'm gonna hit record and I'm gonna hit this record button at the same time, so the audio is actually gonna be synced. So when I do edit it, it's gonna be a lot easier to transition over to the interview, over to the different angles. So with this camera, I'm gonna do, I'm slowly just walk around just like this and get different angles. So she could be talking for about 3 minutes, and that camera is facing right there. That camera facing right there, and I'm facing right here. I'm actually getting two different angles like this with my freelance camera, because this camera can create any different angle. The most thing you see in the interviews is a straight lens forward. You see that. So the other angles incorporate this. So I can either get a side angle, or once again, I can either kneel down on one position, kneel down and get a totally different angle. Or, prime example, I can even stand on this right here. I can create as many different angles as I want just by using objects or just walking around my subject. So that's how a lot of interviewers, that's how a lot of documentary editors get good angles. They have one camera facing just like that, but they also have a freelance camera, and it's getting multiple different angles from multiple different directions. So when you do take it on Adobe Premiere or any video editing software, it'd be a lot easier to edit it, and it would almost pretty much tell that story from creating different angles. Once again, you can, if you have two iPhones, the same scenario. If you have two phones, if you and your friend have a phone, you can create two different angles right there. All you have to do is pretty much sync the video together, which I will show you how to do that in the near future. Right now, this is Jackie's Interviews and Podcasts, and I'm showing you guys how to get different angles. And later on in their future, Jackie's Graphic Design will show you how I actually sync the angles, sync the audio together. Very, very, very simple stuff. You just want to make sure both of your cameras on record at the same time, and you're able to sync them up. The audio is very important. The rest falls into place. So once again, this is Jackie's Interviews and Podcasts, and this is my whole setup right here. As you see the cameras, you see the soft light right over here. You see my subject. You see everything. This is my whole entire subject. You see my mom, Jeanette Terry. She's ready. You see the camera, as I said, facing exactly at her. She looks really good. She did a really good job on this interview, touching on some key points, some key dramatic points. Some of it was hard. But she did it, and she made it happen, man. She really made it happen. And that's what Jackie's Interviews and Podcasts is all about, man. It's all about expressing yourself, telling that story, because in the long run, we can go at any time. I can go at any time. I got everything going for me. I got muscle, I got all this, but in the long run, that stuff doesn't matter, because when I walk out that door, it ain't promise. And, when I walk out, I don't want to go out with any regret. That's what Jackie's interviews and podcasts is all about, man. Telling that story, because in the long run, your story, your one simple story, whether it be 5 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes long, it doesn't matter how long it is, as long as it can touch somebody's heart, as long as they can feel that passion, as long as they can feel that happiness, that sadness that you went through, it can touch somebody. It might be able to change somebody's life. It might be able to save somebody's life just from what your words are saying. Once again, words are very powerful. They will be immortalized. Don't let anybody tell you words can't do nothing to you. Words are the biggest power that you can use. Essentially, when you hit somebody, when you punch somebody, that wound will fade away. But sometimes words will last forever. And the positive words that you speak, the positive words that you speak in front of this camera right here, or in front of your camera device, or any device, will be immortalized. Will be immortalized. And that's what it's all about, immortalizing your words for the better good. We're not talking about negative stuff. I push all that negative stuff back. I push all that back, and we talk about positive stuff. We talk about our story, what we've been through, our mistakes, our failures, our achievements, what we're going through, what we're striving for, because that's what we strive to be. We strive to be the best. We strive to make things happen. And that's what Jackie's interviews and podcasts is all about, striving to be that best, telling your story, whether not unfiltered. You don't want to filter anything out, because we all made mistakes. I have made mistakes. There's going to be a time where Jackie Terry Jr. is behind this camera right here telling my life story. And it's going to be unfiltered. It's going to be unfiltered because everybody has the right to be able to express themselves. Everybody has the right to be able to tell their story. And once again, everybody has the right to be able to build that legacy. Once again, it's all about building your legacy, and it's all about touching people in the right way. Once again, Jackie's interviews and podcasts. I want to thank my mom, Jeanette Terry, for taking the time out her day to do this, because she didn't have to, but she's willing to do it she's willing to do it for the greater good. And that's sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta do things for the greater good. You almost gotta swallow your own pride. Even if you're not comfortable, you gotta be able to do it for the greater good. Jeanette Terry stepped out her comfort zone and did this interview, and just continues doing multiple interviews, and hopefully her voice will be able to change somebody's life, and her story will be able to change somebody's life. So that's what it's all about, man. Stepping out that own comfort zone and becoming who you really are, and building up your character, building up your self-image. And that's what it's all about. I'm Jackie Terry, and it's Jackie's interviews and podcasts, and I'm out, baby.